Bro, it was Rebekah Vardy was the one who called this trial. She was the one who insisted on it, and then they read through her WhatsApp.
Right.
Damn.
So I know there's been a couple journalists that are what they're calling it wagatha, right? Wagatha Christie.
Wagatha Christie.
Which what's the reference to? What is that a pun of?
Isn't it Agatha Christie?
Agatha?
Wasn't she like
Tabitha?
How do I think it's British.
Yeah. But please fill us in.
I think she was a royal.
Because there's obviously been a lot of drama. There's I can't find. There's been a lot of great details. There was one. I wish I had it in front of me. I wish I had it because there was they called it the C word. You know the
That was the first thing.
Yeah,
the first WhatsApp message.
Vardy said that
about Coleen
Rooney. You know the word in England that is not an insult, but it's pretty bad in the U.S.
Yeah, it just gets tossed around heavy.
Okay.
Let's just say Pip.
Okay. But the response was generally like Coleen Rooney being shocked that that anybody was like disparaging her. She's basically saying like I didn't do anything wrong. But
you heard about the one thing that came out was Coleen Rooney purposely crashed her car while in Washington D.C. She had the car damaged on purpose and told Rebekah Vardy she had gotten into a car accident with Wayne Rooney, something like that. And that made it into the paper. So that was like the first time. But she had planned that. So that might be the one. Remember there was like the story was the leak in the house? But do you remember that there was a flood in the house in D.C.? Right.
That was
this was like the big ta-da, but I think that might have been the second or third time she got Rebekah Vardy.
Right, because and if people don't remember, essentially Coleen Rooney was accusing Rebekah Vardy of leaking stories to the tabloids.
No. Rebekah Vardy's account.
Right.
Very important.
Because and this is what's been happening.
Coleen Rooney handled this thing like a surgeon, bro.
Because in the trial, she's going. There was a moment I think over the weekend or today, where they were explaining Instagram and how it exactly worked and what she was doing to keep. To hide her Instagram stories and only show it to one person, which was Rebekah Vardy.
Right.
And then, the story about what you call it. This was about going to Mexico to do a gender affirming pregnancy or something like that.
I don't remember this at all.
So this was what I saw this detail, and I'm probably butchering it because I don't have it in front of me. But essentially, Coleen Rooney put out a fake story to essentially to the Sun saying that she was getting the gender determined of their child.
Right, and that made it into the paper.
Something, and Vardy had something to do with it, where she basically sort of leaked it and maybe to Vardy or something like that, and then it got to the Sun, so that she knew that the only person who would have said that would have been her. So
this has been incredible.
It's a pretty wild series of events. Like I said,
here he is. His name is Tom Peck.
Yes. I have the article.
No. He's been live tweeting it.
Okay. Let me pull that up just so we have it. Tom Peck. Okay.
He is literally a massive thread, a day per day.
Well done, sir.
I mean, this is incredible.
Can you win a
Pulitzer?
A Pulitzer for
tweets?
for tweets about this case? I mean, I hope so.
Oh wow, he is really digging in.
It's wild. I mean, yeah. To go at Tom Peck on Twitter, but you can see the thread here. He's talking about what they're wearing, pretty much every detail.
Okay, so day 3 of Wagatha Christie, a.k.a. the Scouse Trap. I mean, do the English know how to do this, man? This is where you guys
Let's
shine,
go.
bro.
Let's break this down a little bit.
More questions for Rebekah Vardy. This time it's how it came to pass that she dragged a load of wags out of a restaurant where they encountered a pap who was meant to be hiding in the bushes. This involves basically stitching up a load of England players' wives and damning WhatsApps with her agent that have all been read out. Once again, we repeat, the trial was her idea. She is not the defendant, but nevertheless, her defense is that she hasn't read the WhatsApp messages that she herself wrote. This is a quote. "The reason you can't get your story straight, Ms. Vardy, is because you're lying. No, I am absolutely not lying. You weren't worried at all. So you say fuck on WhatsApp. Lovely stuff." "If I'm honest, I can't remember anything about this at all." "Well, I would like you to be honest as you're sitting in a witness box in a court of law." Her defense is that she can't remember the WhatsApp messages she wrote. Which, can I say, if it works, thank you. Okay?
You're setting quite the precedent
For my future trial.
Your Honor, you can't honestly expect me to remember calling this woman all these the terrible things.
Oh, wow. I'm supposed to remember random WhatsApp messages that I myself wrote?
Your Honor, that was minutes ago.
I mean,
pretty surreal.
What happened to WhatsApp being encrypted?
Well, it's encrypted from outside sources or whatever. But you can, if you get the phone, obviously you can see anything you need to see, right?
No, she threw her phone in the ocean.
I mean, it's stored somewhere, right? And
it's on the cloud.
Their personal cloud. I don't think it's. But I don't think anybody like from Facebook or whatever can't just go and look at it, to my knowledge. But I don't know.
Okay, so here we go. We're on the bit where Coleen Rooney effectively staged a car crash involving her 4x4 Honda in Washington, D.C. entirely for Rebekah Vardy's benefit, so she could sell the details of it to the Sun.
Got it. So she faked.
She didn't. She actually,
but put the story. So and we can see the detail here. So this is day 5 of it, and Coleen is saying a bunch of things like. She didn't expect this to be such a big deal. It was way bigger than I ever thought. But she goes into detail about...
In particular, look at this. He says, Tom Peck on May 12 said, "We're being told how, after the story was published about the car crash, Coleen Rooney publicly stated on Twitter that she didn't crash her car and someone's been leaking stories about her. Mm-hmm. We move on to a fairly unfortunate WhatsApp message written by Vardy's agent. It was me," it says.
But then you see here,
he literally it was me.
You can see here Coleen Rooney saying about Instagram. It says you go to settings and then you go into hide my story. Then you have to select all the people you're hiding from. I 100% knew that everyone was off, apart from Mrs. Vardy's account. So this is, I mean, she did we talked about this last year. She did.
This was her idea, this trial.
This was the detective work, bro. She wanted to.
She'd been plotting this from day one. Bro, if you're Wayne Rooney, how have you ever gone outside your marriage against this woman?
Look, I mean, she's
been prepared. She's been been forged in the fire, dude. I mean,
she is well trained.
She is fully baptized for this situation, my friend.
Okay.
Wow,
bro. So look, this is pretty incredible. A nice girl.
It was me. Wow.
A nice girl who said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got her." Bro, this is it's a pretty incredible story. If you're just hearing about it now, obviously go look back and read some of these tweets, because the details of this stuff are so wild. It really just feels like Look, Coleen Rooney is one of one of the, like, I don't know, WAG royalty, for lack of a better word. She is top tier.
She's Premier League WAG.
Yeah.
Yeah, for WAG, she's Premier League. She's top 4. She's Champions League level. I do want to read this. Tom Peck, this is a tweet from Tom Peck, said, this was also on May 12th. "Vardy has recovered sufficiently," meaning Rebekah Vardy, to allow herself a chuckle as another of her historic WhatsApps is read out, in which she claims that arguing with Rooney is, quote, "would be like arguing with a pigeon. You can tell it's right and you're wrong, but it's still going to shit in your hair."
Bro, look, this is what I say.
Publish a book of just these WhatsApps.
This is my philosophy and how I text and everything. Don't text something that you wouldn't be okay with the entire world seeing. That's how I approach it.
This is why you never text me back. You know how many times I text him? He's like, I saw it. I'm like, yeah, you know how you let me know that? By responding.
Dude,
this is why your niece, you got to learn this before your niece gets older, because she's going to be text heavy.
I mean, they're going to have some like implanted chip. It's not even
And imagine you're not even going to respond to that shit. You'll be like, no, I heard your mind note, your thought note you sent me.
It is, this is... Look, she's a reckless texter. She said some wild stuff.
Bro, I'm going down.
Bro, don't let them.
I'm going down.
Don't let them get access. No, this is a.
I text greasy, bro.
But to me, it feels.
I also talk greasy, so maybe it's kind of.
It's Coleen Rooney saying like, yo, the culture of wags has to change. It can't just be an episode of Real Housewives, everybody talking trash, people. Leaking stories.
I feel like now
ruining reputations.
I feel like she's given us an appetite for this now. I feel like now there's going to be people side up who the real wags of Newcastle, the real wags of Brentford.
Oh, what do those ladies look like?
The real wags of Turf Moor. Show us those hooves, ladies.